Hello, fellow old schoolers. Echo Greg here with another series of recorded webcam events. This is the first match from Xpoints number 57. That's a regular monthly pod-based webcam event that cuts to a top 16. So here's my deck for this month. It's a white, green, red Eureka deck that's also running some Eurekageddons. Or Armageddon, so I can pivot kind of into an Eurekageddon. My points here are 1 point each for the Geddons, and then 3 points for the Lotus and the Mox, or the Soul Ring, and 2 points for the Mox. So, count 10. The creatures here are Urnums, Sarahs, Shivens, Trikes, pretty standard for Eureka, but I'm also running 2 Personal Incarnations. Personal Incarnations are a house, they're very hard to kill. The downside is pretty severe. It is put in the graveyard, you lose half your life rounded up. But really there's only 2 cards in the format that can destroy it. 3. Wrath of God, Chaos Orb, Terror, and Disc, I guess 4. As I talk, I keep coming up with more. But not a whole lot. Like if he swords it, it's removed, exiled, so you don't lose your life. It's a graveyard trigger. So it's very good, very hard to kill. 6/6 for 6 is not terrible, especially in old school. So we'll see it put in some work. And then sideboard package, Cop Green, Cop Reds, lots of red burn decks around. The Cop Green, I didn't really adjust the sideboard too much from the previous time I had run this when it had Force of Natures in there. So the Cop Green was kind of an additional bonus for having forces, plus if I ran any of the green Stompy Weenie decks running around, it helps there. And then the additional disenchants, 4 Divine Offerings, that's for running into any sort of the artifact heavy, Shops Light kind of decks in the format. Red Elemental Blasts, pretty obvious what those are for. Additional Spirit Link, I do have 2 in the main. Again, really helps in those Lion Dib Bolt type burn aggro matchups, which there are a lot of in this format. It's possibly the best deck in Xpoints right now. And then 2 more swords. So, let's get into the match. So, I'm playing Rich Arvello, who is on kind of a 4-color mid-range deck from best I can tell. Again, I don't have my opponent's deck list, so not entirely sure exactly what they're doing, but just from what we played. So Rich starts, he plays a Badlands and passes. I do a Taiga into a Birds. Pass back to him. He's going to play a City, take a damage going to 19, and he's going to him me. So he is going to hit me there. Took an Urnum, and I couldn't see what the other card was. Pass it back to me, I drop a Plains, and just pass back. Another land, Underground Sea, and a Sinkhole blowing up my Taiga. So Rich going on the heavy on Disruption here, and then he swords my Bird. So I'm in a bad spot. But I got a Forest and pass back. So just trying to build up. Again, this deck with Eureka really wants to get to 4. Could also get the Urnums out with that, but everything else costs 6, so it is pretty mana dependent if you don't have that Eureka. And even with the Eureka, the magic number is 4. So Jusum from Rich's side, so that's not good. That's going to put a quick clock on me. I missed the land drop, stuck on 3, pass back. And he comes in for 5, but I've got a Swords, so I let it do the damage to him. And then swords it, so he was at 16, jumps up to 21, back down to 20, and then he's got another Jusum. So I'm going to untap, play a Savannah. That does get me up to 4, but I don't have anything I can do with it. I did have a Urnum, but he had hemmed it out of my hand. So he swings in, no swords this time. I drop to 15, and then I get an Urnum. So it's not going to be able to really deal with the Jusum, but with the Jusum dealing him a damage and the Urnum dealing 4, it's going to at least be dealing 5 damage a turn as well. The only problem is, well, the problem right there is he control magics it, but prior to that, the problem is that I was lower life, so even if I'm racing, I'm not going to win. So now I have Eureka. I'm going to start with a Shivan. Pass the Eureka to Rich. He plays a Breath, and there's a personal incarnation. So here I just talking with Rich, explaining what that does exactly. That is going to be a good deterrent against both creatures he has, the Jusum and my Urnum. Blocks both. Even if he has a bolt or something, I can just redirect the damage, extra damage done to the incarnation to myself, which I'm at 10, so that's risky, but better than losing half my life and keeps all the creatures at bay. So that was it for the Eureka. Rich has taken his turn, thinking through what he can do here. Again, he doesn't really have any profitable attacks. My Shivan can take out the Urnum, and the Incarnation can take out the Jusum. He might be able to double bolt or bolt or something and take out the Shivan after damage, but I would be left with 6 damage on board to his none, and able to just crash in. So we'll see what Rich comes up with here as his plan. He is going to attack with both, so yep. I'm going to block the Jusum and block the Urnum, it looks like. And they're both gone, so here I'm worried about a balance, but nope, he's just got the bolt for the Shivan. So again, clears the board, but leaves me with a 6/6. That's going to swing in, put Rich to 11, and then I've got an Urnum. So he's got a counter for that, unfortunately. Doesn't really change the clock at all. He is at 11, so even swinging in with the Urnum for 10 damage would have just put him to 1. So I'm still on a 2-turn clock. But he got a Troll that is going to basically keep the Incarnation from crashing in. But I draw Spirit Link, so yeah, he'll block Regenerate, but I will gain the life. So he will disenchant it and take a damage from that going to 10, then block and regenerate. So kind of foils my plan a little bit there of just being able to gain so much life that the Rich can't do anything. Drop a Sylvan and pass back. So at this point I need to get another creature or a Swords so that I can start getting in and win this game. So Darrellure on Rich's side. He's looking something up. Look at my Sylvan. Take a card and just pass back. He's got a Swords. I think he was looking up whether I would lose half my life from that, but yeah, so I gain 6, he cracks in for 7, so drops me down to 9. And I get Sarah. So this is going to be a close race. He swings in. I'm going to block the Troll here. Regenerate it. I'll take 4, going down to 5, but I want to be able to attack and do some damage. So I'll swing in, put him at 6. I'll play a Birds, which does give me another blocker here. He swings in, so again I'll block the Troll. And I'm going to go to 1, which is very risky. I have seen Lightning Bolt. I think the reason I kept the bird alive is I probably have a Trike or a Shivan in hand, and so I wanted to risk getting that 6 mana. I swing in. Yep, there it is. Oh, Personal Incarnation. Okay, so even better. That'll allow me to block in and finish off. So, yep, Rich draws. Nothing he can clear my board with, and so he scoops it up, and we go to game 2. So that was a very close, very tight back and forth. Rich really slowed me down with that him and the sinkhole. Took me a while to be able to build back up, and those Jusums put some damage on me. Luckily, I had the swords for the first one. I think if he had had 2 down, the game 1 would have ended in Rich's favor much earlier. But was able to stall long enough to start getting my big fatties out. And then that's one of the great things about cards like Personal Incarnation is they're very hard to deal with, and they outclass pretty much every other creature that's going to see any play in Xpoints. So, with that, we sideboard up. I'm definitely going to be bringing in, I think, the other Spirit Link, the swords, because he is creature heavy, and he's got those trolls that regenerate that really block my big guy. None of my guys have trample, so can't get through the regeneration that easily. And probably going to bring in Disenchants. He did show me a control magic in game 1, so right, nothing worse than putting Eurekaing out a couple fatties and having him steal one of them. So that just really puts you behind. So got to make sure I've got enchantment removal to deal with it. So we finish sideboarding, we shuffle up. Rich will be on the play again, as I took the game 1. Love Rich's playmat there. That Winter Pendelhaven is a really cool piece of art that Blackwoods did. I actually have a print of it hanging on my wall behind me, so cool to see it. Other people enjoy that one as well. Alright, so we're done shuffling, taking a look at our opening hands. Again, Rich will be on the play. Looks like we're both good keeping. So Rich starts off with a swamp and passes. So setting up for another turn to him, possibly another sinkhole. All I have is a taiga. Yeah, and there's the him. So again, hymns are really good against Eureka decks. We need lots of cards in our hand. Oh, and he hits a Eureka and a swords. So bad hit for me, good one for him. But I do get a Savannah into a Sylvan, so that'll help me rebuild. If he doesn't get a threat down, I can pay some life. And also give me good card selection options, make sure I'm drawing what I need at the time. So I'm thinking, looking at what I want to do, I am going to take an extra card and drop the 16, drop a land, and just pass. So not a card I necessarily needed, but I think probably building up to a Eureka. So wanted to make sure I had enough cards. So Rich is going to play a hippie. I'm going to swords it. Again, anything that takes cards out of the Eureka hand is really good against Eureka. I take another 4, dropping to 8, and then I am going to Eureka. So I play an Urnum. Doesn't look like Rich has anything. There's a Trike and 2 Shivans. So he is going to play Control Magic. He's going to take one of the Shivans. But then he realizes that even that it's just too much beef there. He doesn't have anything, and he scoops it up, and I show him the Disenchant in my hand, so I would have been able to get that Shivan right back if he had saved it for blocking instead of attacking, or whatever his plan was with that. Anyway, a little disappointed I didn't get to play out, but I was so far ahead in that one. It's understandable for Rich to scoop him up there. So I take that one down 2-0. That does make me 1-0 in this. I'll actually end up before the next video 2-0 because I did not record the next video. Unfortunately, I thought I hit the button, but I did not hit the button, and so I think that one was a some sort of aggro. We'll have a better description next time. It was either a blue-white weenie, white weenie with the blue splash for power and dibs, or a rug aggro. So anyway, off to a good start in this one. Thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you next time.